I've had this channel going for about a year and a half now, and I've actually filmed a bunch of unboxing videos, but have never posted any of them. And I'm not really exactly sure why. I guess just because this isn't really that kind of channel. I do mainly running videos, and I don't really kind of want to establish myself as any kind of go-to for, I guess, any knowledge base, I guess, because it really sets a person up for further discussion, which I don't really sometimes just want to get completely entailed in. And so, at any rate, you've seen some recent videos of this on the channel, and I picked this up here a couple weeks ago and just have absolutely totally fallen in love with it. It's yet another direction for the channel that I hadn't really planned on going. I'd considered long ago, I think back when I got my first SCX-24s a little more than a year ago, I'd kind of gone back and forth of whether or not I wanted to get into the Mini Z platform or the SCX-24 platform, but kind of realized that in order to get parts for these guys, you were looking at, probably a good 5 to 6 week waiting time for stuff, because a lot of it really originates in China. There's not much, to be had here. That seems to have changed, I think, within the last few weeks. I placed an order, a pretty good sized order, from RC Mart out of China, and that stuff still hasn't arrived. But in the meantime, I've noticed that there are a few places that are kind of opening up where they're restocking some stuff that they were kind of out of for the Mini Z. So it's a platform that's been around for a couple years, but I only just recently got into it myself, and it's awesome. If you have no idea about like how they run, but if you have experience with the SCX-24, or if you have experience with the Grande 2 1/18 scale stuff, or maybe even the FTX micro stuff, it's going to be, I think, completely separated and different yet again from all of those. And if I could really describe how it runs, it's quite similar to what a very scaled down RC 4-wheel drive 110 running on a 2-speed transmission with a 540, 550 motor. Just imagine all of that in first gear and shrunk down to this size. Because this is a pinion style front and rear axle, you can drive down against the motor, on numerous different inclines and stuff, and it really kind of makes for a little bit different experience. While not, of course, the strongest, highest torque servo in the thing, and the motor certainly has basically exactly what it needs for power and not a whole ton extra. But if you learn how to run the truck and how to get it to do exactly what you want it to do, it kind of teaches you a little bit different driving experience than what I've experienced so far with running SCX-24 and the Grande 2 118. So long story long, I really like how this thing runs. It actually takes even some getting used to now when I fire up an SCX-24 and go back to running it for a second, because I'm so used to how this thing is now driving and how to control it, and really like it a lot. And so that is why I decided to take the plunge and got this guy, which I'm pretty happy about now having. And I guess to kind of catch you up on why do I like the 4Runner so much? Well, I've liked a lot of trucks since I've been into RC. I absolutely love the Defender D90, D110, basically any Defender body style. And I really like 83 Hilux, any of the 80, 81 to 83, 84, 85 Hilux style stuff. Pretty much any Hilux, any Toyota Hilux that you can kind of really think of. All the way up to even modern. That's why I owned a 2017 Tacoma, and now I have a 2018, and I've owned an 03 Tundra. And once upon a time, I did really officially have a 1985 Toyota 4Runner, and it was beige. Their desert, very light tan. They called it Toyota beige. I believe the color code is either. I'd have to look it up again. And it had a white top on it and not a black one, which is why I have that. I ordered a body, so eventually I'm going to do up my original 4Runner, the way that my paint scheme was set up. It's the vehicle that I moved to Vermont with in 1994. I think I bought the truck in 91 or 92. I only had it for a couple, 3 short years. Unfortunately, very unfortunately, traded it in on a 1991 Saab 900S, which was an awesome car, but thus began kind of some of my financial woes, trying to keep a Saab on the road, and then just missing out on an opportunity to be able to have, just a classic 4-wheel drive truck, one of the last, solid front axles that really just noteworthy, style and just everything about it. Those, they seem just totally indestructible. And so anyway, let's get down to it. I know that I've been now rambling on for a good 5-10 minutes in this, so it is an unboxing. I just kind of wanted to give a little precursor to everything here, so let's get at it. It's kind of funny, I ordered this on Friday, very late night. Kind of woke up Saturday, sort of remembered again. I'm like, oh yeah, late night RC ordering. That's something I gotta not necessarily stop doing, but just make sure that I don't go too crazy. And like I said, I realized I remembered I ordered a Mini Z, and was of course very happy that I did so, because what I've experienced so far in the last couple of weeks, and the upgrades and stuff that I've made so far, I'm going to be pretty happy with how the summer's going to go, having these couple extra trucks in the fleet. And at least with the 2 of them now too, I can sort of run both of those kind of opposite each other, and not feel like I need to try and mix things in with the SCX24 platform or what have you. The 2 scales are pretty different, so they may not run exactly in the same videos with each other. I don't really run 2 trucks in the same video ever anyway, but well, here we go. Let's see if I can get this thing out here without destroying everything in its path. The truck comes out nice and easy. That's good. Beautiful. Alright, so there you have that. Looks like this is a set of instructions. This will obviously be a transmitter. And those of you who have run this truck up to this point, I just learned, and maybe you are as aware of it already yourselves, but I just learned last week that there are 2 different modes that you can run this truck in. There is a crawler mode and then a normal mode, and that is done by turning the power switch on and then pushing the trigger all the way forward and holding it there for a few seconds until the light begins to blink, at which point it'll continuously blink when it's in crawler mode. And then if you want to switch it back into normal mode, then what you do is you turn the thing back on or off and then turn it back on, and then you pull the trigger all the way back and hold it there. And this is of course without the truck on. And you need to hold it back until the light goes normal and stays solid again. So these controllers are equipped with 2 different modes, and basically it kind of just takes everything and just sort of halves the output power and stuff like that. I ran it like that for a short period of time and just switched it back to normal mode. But just so you're aware, these controllers do have 2 different modes that are built in. It's something that I kind of looked up and sort of discovered in they learned about it in the message boards. I think that I found some of the Kyosho guys out there that were pretty keen to the idea. Some people liked it. I'm sure that it's probably kind of beneficial if you go through and do something with your gearing, which is something that I want to kind of bring up in the next part of the discussion here. The kit comes with what you get 5 or 6 different pinion gears in here, as well as the shim adapters, and I can't recall what exactly this little thing is right here for, but what these do is you get to obviously adjust your output power and torque and control and everything in the truck by undoing pretty easy to get to motor mount, and once that's all set, then you swap out the pinion gear, put in an appropriate size shim, and then snap it all back together pretty much in the same way. There's a couple of videos that are out there that will show you exactly how to do it. Nothing that I've experimented with yet myself, but I might at some point. I've just been really happy with how the trucks are running up to this point, so I haven't really felt the need. So it looks like you got 4 screws to undo here on the bottom. Really well packaged, so the truck is very well secured inside. You shouldn't see any damage to the vehicle at all, unless the exterior of the box is in bad shape. But yes, my first unboxing video. How funny. Okay. Now that you've got that out of the way, it looks like there are 2 more screws that want to be undone inside of this little tripod or pedestal thing that this wants to sit on. But 2 screws inside here. I'm assuming those probably are going to want to go right back in wherever they came from. Of course, this is me not looking at any of the instructions yet, so let me look at my other one. No. Okay, so those screws do not need to go back into the bottom wherever they came from. They come out of 2. Oh, look at that little guy. This is great. So, I was curious about how it would feel compared to the other one, and it does have a little bit more of a lively feel to it. It doesn't feel quite as broken in just yet. But yep, there it is, folks. Brand new dark gray Mini Z. And I've already got at least 1 set of wheels and tires pretty much ready to go. This is, I believe, what the Cross RC plastic beadlock, and then these are, I believe these are a Charisma tire. And then I've also got another set of black rims just like these with the RGT swappers on order for this as well. So that will be what this truck is going to end up getting. So it's not going to run stock wheels and tires for very long at all. Yeah, this looks pretty much just like the other one does underneath. If you're not familiar with the Mini Z, they have a really unique clip system that holds the body on. And I found the easiest way is to just flip the thing on its side, and you take your thumb and your index finger and press against these 2 little metal clips that are located right here. Kind of press them downward. And very carefully, without forcing anything. I don't know why that's stuck. There it goes. Okay. I'm sure that'll free up after a couple times, but there you have it. There's the inside of the Mini Z. May as well throw some batteries on this thing and check it out while I've got the camera going here. Power switch is located on the back on these guys. There we go. So that's flashing, looking to pair. Find that power switch back here again. There it is. All right. Let's body needs a little bit of break-in time. There we go. That's awesome. Oh yeah. She crawls. There we go. And rolls it. First roll. Gotta roll it sometime, folks. May as well do it live on camera within the first couple minutes of running the truck. So there you have it. There's an unboxing of a brand new Kyosho Mini Z coming to a channel near you. Going to be running right alongside that guy and hopefully keeping you entertained. And I'm looking forward to modding this thing up, getting these wheels and tires put on it, all stepped up, ready to go. What else? This thing's got some pretty sweet mods coming here soon too. This one's going to get all kinds of done up, and really kind of one of the main reasons I bought this, just to kind of add one more thing, was because the servos in these things are really hard to get, and I know the motors I think are pretty easy to come by, but I haven't really heard too much about how to deal with what I would consider to be a fairly weak servo. And so if the servo in fact decides to go in this thing, that's really what this truck is sort of here for. It's a primary, but at the same time it's one that I'm willing to harvest parts of if necessary in order to keep this one running, and in the meantime then be able to repart this one and get it back going again. So you know, it's tough when not everything about a vehicle, you know, a truck isn't available here in the U.S. And I realize that, you know, overseas you can probably get all kinds of stuff. At least from what I've seen in the videos, it really looks like that's the deal, which is fine. But it just means that here in the U.S. you kind of have to do things like basically have a parts truck on hand. So if in fact something goes wrong, you've got a way to stay running, and you've got a way to be able to keep your vehicle running. I think I'm really going to like this thing a lot. It runs exactly like the other one does. They're such fun trucks. They really, 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 really are just such fun, incredibly just easy to drive. Like, they do every single thing that you want them to do as long as you do it and ask it. Here, I rolled it again. Right live on camera. I'm just destroying this thing. Anyway, these things will do every single thing you want it to do, and I've not really had any problem with how it runs at all. It seems to do all of the stuff that I want it to do. And as long as you ask it nicely, as long as you don't, you know, try and, you know, hot rod and railroad and everything else and just run full throttle, you know, 100% of the time. I've seen this truck do pretty much just about what I would always expect it to. So I consider this a great platform. I think it's one certainly worth looking into and investing into if you have considered it at all. They're pretty unique, not only in how they run, but by far the most detailed of any of the micro crawlers out there, with fully licensed bodies. And so, from what I understand, Toyota wasn't about to let them, you know, produce anything that was gonna, you know, hinder or mar the reputation of Toyota in any way. So they came out with a very well appointed, incredibly highly detailed hard body that sits on a platform that like I say, I can't say it enough. I've fallen in love with how the Mini Z runs. Thanks for watching, folks. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Do all that jazz. It's YouTube. You know what to do. We'll see you on the next one. So take care out there. Thanks for watching.